Good afternoon. And welcome to the inaugural swearing-in ceremony of the 56th Mayor of the City of St. Paul. My name is Rebecca Naker. I'm the president of the St. Paul City Council, and I am honored to be your MC for today's ceremony. And I can just feel the excitement in this room. We are ready, aren't we? I want to extend a very special thank you to all of the dignitaries who are here today, especially the many elected officials who have taken time to join us. And I want to send a special shout out to my colleagues on the St. Paul City Council. Thank you all so much for being here today. Now I invite you to please rise if you're able, as we have the presentation of the colors. Leading the colors is the St. Paul Firefighters Local 21 Honor Guard. They're joined by the JROTC Color Guard from Harding High School Navy, Como Park Senior High School Marine Corps, Johnson Aerospace and Engineering High School Air Force, and some of our local Hmong veterans. Thank you for your service. Standing for the national anthem, sung by Isabella Dawes and Francesca Dawes, two Filipina-American classically trained singers, actors, and musicians from Minnesota who have gone on to dazzle audiences across the country. Isabella is the founder of the arts and media company Sans Rival and is the keyboardist for the local rock band Kiss the Tiger. Francesca is a violinist who recently performed on Broadway in Cabaret. She holds degrees from Stanford and Columbia and is a licensed psychotherapist and social worker.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner
Please be seated. Please be seated. And can we give it up one more time for Francesca and Isabella? That was amazing. Today, we are joined by many family, friends, dignitaries, and community members from near and far. Thank you all for joining us on this historic day as we celebrate Mayor-elect Kaohly Her as the 56th mayor of the city of St. Paul. I ask you now to please join me in welcoming St. Catherine University President, Dr. Marquita Evans. Dr. Evans became the 12th president of St. Catherine University on July 15, 2024. She has the distinction of being the institution's first African-American president. Prior to her tenure at St. Catherine University, she was chancellor of Bloomfield College of Montclair State University, following the historic merger of Bloomfield College and Montclair State University, the first merger between a public and private education institution in New Jersey. Prior to that, Dr. Evans served as Bloomfield's 17th president and was both the first African-American and first woman to lead the college in its greater than 150-year history. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Evans.
Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. On behalf of St. Catherine University, it is my great honor to welcome you to our campus for this extraordinary and historic occasion, the inauguration of the mayor-elect. We are deeply proud to host this moment here at St. Kate's, a women's university rooted in the belief that representation matters, that leadership can and must look like the full richness of the communities it serves. Today, we celebrate history in the making as we again have witnessed the inauguration of the first woman and first Hmong person to hold this office. Yes, yes. You know, this is not just only a milestone for our city, but a powerful affirmation of possibilities for generations to come. Before we proceed, though, it is important that we begin our land acknowledgement and reflection. We begin this program with honor and respect for being on the ancestral homelands of the Dakota people and for all the first people of this land who cared for our common home. We acknowledge the impacts of our history on our relationship with our Indigenous sisters and brothers as we participate in a journey of listening, learning, building relationships, and advocating for, with American Indian nations, for a more just world for all. Thank you. Now, as a women's, let's just give that land acknowledgement. As a women's university founded and guided by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, St. Catherine University has long been committed to preparing leaders who act with courage, justice, and compassion. Our mission calls for us to educate women to lead and influence, grounded in dignity, equity, and deep responsibility for the common good. Hosting this inauguration is not just an honor, it is a reflection of who we are. I also stand before you knowing a little something about being the first. Being the first carries both privilege and responsibility. It means walking into spaces where doors were once closed. It means being visible even when you didn't ask to be. It means understanding that your leadership is never just about you. It is about those who came before you, those who will walk alongside you, and those who are watching and dreaming because of you. This is why today matters so deeply. Today affirms that leadership rooted in community, culture, and service strengthens us all. It affirms that our institutions, cities, universities, and systems are better when they reflect the people they serve. We're truly excited and grateful to be a part of this historic moment at St. Kate's today because you will inspire courage, hope, and renewed commitment to building a more just and inclusive future for all. Welcome and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Evans, and thank you for hosting us here at St. Catherine University. I now invite you to join me in welcoming Reverend Daniel Johnson, who will lead our opening prayer. Reverend Johnson is a United Methodist clergy and longtime friend and ministry partner of the United Methodist Hmong community in Minnesota. He has served for 45 years in a variety of roles, including superintendent of the Twin Cities District. In retirement, Reverend Johnson is currently the interim pastor of Park Avenue United Methodist Church. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Johnson.
Nojong. Greetings to all who gather on this historic occasion as we swear in Mayor-elect Kaohly Her. Not only as the 56th mayor of St. Paul, but as the first woman, the first Asian American, and first Hmong American mayor of this capital city. Yes. And our gathering today is a wonderful capstone for the 50th anniversary of the Hmong immigration to the United States that was celebrated just this past year in 2025. And in addition to that, it's also another symbolic shattering of the barriers for all people to freely offer their gifts of leadership in civil service and elected office. Yes, Kaohly Her is a political trailblazer, but you might not also know that she comes from a long line of spiritual trailblazers as well. Kaohly's grandparents were founders of the first Hmong United Methodist Church in the world, located here in St. Paul. And this congregation is still actively engaged in ministry as Wheelock United Methodist Church. Kaohly Her, for her, faith is not just perfunctory. It grounds her identity, informs her discernment, and inspires her leadership. She invites us to center this service of inauguration in prayer. I invite you to join me. Gracious and eternal Spirit, creator of all people and author of peace and order, we gather today on the ancestral homelands of the Dakota people, near the banks of the Wakpa-Tonka, the great Mississippi River. This very place is a sacred watershed of ancient history and a source of new beginnings. We come together today as one community, woven from many threads, many languages, and many journeys, to witness this transition of leadership for our beloved city of St. Paul. We give thanks for Mayor Melvin Carter and his administration's stewardship of the resources of St. Paul over the past 8 years. Every new leader stands on the shoulders of those who have gone before. We give thanks for the Mayor-elect's campaign and support teams that lay the foundation for effective transition. We call for a special measure of grace, O God, for Kaohly Her's extended family, for their patience with past civic roles, for their sacrifice through political processes, for their support through the journey of service that now lies ahead. In particular, O God, we lift up the Mayor-elect's immediate family, Kong, Taylor, and Aiden. And now, O God of justice and love, we seek your blessing upon Kaohly Her as she steps into this mantle of responsibility. Grant her wisdom that looks beyond the present moment. Grant her courage to make the difficult choices that equity demands. And grant her a spirit of humility to listen to the voices that are often unheard. May her leadership be guided by the light of truth and a heart for service, ensuring that every neighborhood, from Dayton's Bluff to Summit Hill, from Sunray to Como, from Highland Park to the greater East Side, and for every community of diversity and potential in between, that they can feel embraced for their uniqueness and engaged in common vision and mission for the well-being of this entire city. Finally, unite in spirit, we ask for blessing upon the people of St. Paul. Strengthen the bonds between us. Help us to see ourselves in our neighbors, to trade suspicion for compassion, and to work alongside one another to build a city that is safe, just, and filled with opportunity for every child, every youth, every adult. May our work together in the term ahead reflect our highest values and our deepest hopes. In the name of the one God of many names, we pray. Amen. May it be so.
Thank you so much for your powerful words, Reverend. Now, please join me in welcoming our spoken word performance, written for Mayor-elect Kaohly Her by Saimukta Dwangkusaye Vongsaye. Saimukta is an award-winning Lao American artist and playwright, best known for her play Kung Fu Zombies versus Cannibals, and I love that, and her children's book, When Everything Was Everything. She is currently the Mellon Foundation Playwright in Residence at Theatre Mu, a core writer at the Playwright Center, and a Jerome Foundation Artist in Residence at Camargo Cassis, France. She will be performing this piece today with two powerhouses, Tish Jones and Representative Maria Isa Perez Vega. Tish Jones is a poet, MC, and hip-hop theater artist from St. Paul. Her work explores themes of Black love, liberation, politics, and Afrofuturism. Jones has exhibited her work throughout the United States and abroad as a public performance artist for over 2 decades. She serves as the founding executive director of True Art Speaks, an arts and culture organization in St. Paul that has been honored by the St. Paul City Council and that is currently celebrating its 20th anniversary. That's worth applause. The Honorable Maria Isa Perez Vega is a trailblazing artist, legislator, and community leader from the West Side barrio of St. Paul. Her work as an artist blends Puerto Rican tradition, hip hop, and Spanglish to amplify stories of justice, identity, and liberation. Maria Isa has toured internationally, released more than 15 projects, and has had her music featured across major film, television, and global media platforms. Elected in 2022, she made history as the only Boricua woman and hip hop artist in the Minnesota State House of Representatives, where she serves as chair of the Minnesota House St. Paul delegation and vice chair of the People of Color and Indigenous Caucus. Welcome to all of our performers.
This poem is called "And I Stand On." I asked a handful of my neighbors how I should begin this poem, and they all seemed to say, "Girl, we don't know." But here's what I heard. Start with the truth. And what I know to be true is that I love St. Paul.
When I looked down at the end of the river, I saw that we did not all arrive the same.
We passed through varied sands, dirt, and ground. We came through different doors. We floated here on different hopes and promises whispered into our ears. We followed.
And we followed, the hands of new neighbors waving us into Battle Creek, into Midway, into Frogtown, into Highland.
When I walked around my block, I heard different languages spoken, learning new ways to say the words home and roots and happy hour.
I've made it a practice to wade down the river, El Rio, so that my hands could brush against others that are different from mine.
In shape, in shade, in length, and in strength. And theirs too are carrying stories wanting to be told.
I've lived in mountains with roaming tigers and prairies where feather grass dance against my palms.
I come from names mispronounced, from storybooks with missing pages, from ancestors who lifted me on their shoulders to feel the flats and the stone bluffs, to feel horizons they would never live to see.
And I stand on.
Once, I stood in front of a wall of faces, framed in power all the same. Decades of crisp suits, stern smiles, and 5 o'clock shadows. These have been the mayors of my beloved city. In the glass, my own reflection flickered.
Steady and unafraid.
And in that quiet corner right there, I saw a future for myself and every little girl who was never meant to be small.
There has been pain. I don't want us to ignore that. There has been loss that's felt endless.
Moments when we swallowed our own voices, the hurt stuck in our throats just to breathe. We've always known how hard it is, but we keep it moving anyway.
Because we are still here. And I stand on, not broken by what we endured.
Still hoping.
Still loving.
Still listening.
Still whistling into the horizon.
Still believing in tomorrow, even when today asked for too much.
And we're together. We are not alone. Together with our stories, together with our joys and our scars in the same song. The future is listening, learning our names.
Can I hear your name?
What
Can
are
I
your
hear
names?
your name?
Say your names.
Yeah. Maria Isa, look around at all of us.
This is us. Not the television show, but our city.
In our truths, in our differences, we still choose each other. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to our performers. For the first portion of our keynote addresses, I will be reading a tribute to Mayor-elect Kaohly Her, written by Dion Rogers. Dion is a global business executive who has served in executive roles at American Express and advised CEOs and organizations as an executive consultant. She currently serves on the National Board of Directors of Peer Forward, a nonprofit dedicated to expanding college access, persistence, and completion for first-generation and low-income students. Dion was unfortunately unable to join us in person today, so I will be reading her remarks. It is a true honor to celebrate this historic moment. More than 20 years ago, I had the privilege of hiring Kaohly on my team at American Express, working with her early in her career. Even then, she stood out. To this day, she remains one of the best hires I have ever made. I remember watching Kaohly take on responsibility well beyond her role, not for visibility, but because she cared about getting it right and doing right by others. She brought integrity to everything she did. She worked with focus and discipline, and she held herself and others to high standards because excellence mattered to her and was core to who she was. She was deeply values-driven, thoughtful in her decisions, and committed to doing the right thing, even when it was hard. To see Kaohly become the first woman and first Asian American mayor of St. Paul is extraordinary and entirely consistent with the leader she has always been. This achievement reflects her character, her work ethic, and her unwavering commitment to service. I am incredibly proud of Kaohly and grateful to have witnessed from the very beginning the leader that she has become. The people of St. Paul are truly fortunate to have her as their mayor. Thank you to Dion for these words. For our next address, I would like to introduce Bo Tao Urabe. Bo is a visionary leader, strategist, and movement builder with over 30 years of experience advancing social justice across communities and sectors. She is the co-founder of numerous organizations, including Rooted to Last, Coalition of Asian American Leaders, BMPP Giving Circle, Nuchia, and Red Green Rivers. Bo has also held executive roles at various Asian American organizations, including Hmong National Development and the Women's Association of Hmong and Lao, among other national organizations. She has been widely honored for her impact with numerous awards, some of which include a Bush Fellowship and the Governor's Champion of Change Award. And she has been recognized by both the City of St. Paul and the state of Minnesota. Please join me in welcoming Bo.
Thank you, St. Kate's, for having a podium that I don't have to look over. Good afternoon, everyone. What a gift to be here today on this beautiful day for a moment that is deeply personal and truly historic, or should I say, herhistoric. I'm here as a friend who has known Kaohly for most of our lives. Long before titles, campaigns, and podiums, our families arrived here in this country as refugees. Like me, Kaohly was raised by parents who quietly carried their sacrifices and boldly dreamed for their children. They hoped we would be safe, they hoped we would belong, and they hoped we would have choices they never did. Many times over, Kaohly has become those dreams come true, and today we celebrate another one. Because our paths have crossed again and again over the years, I have grown alongside Kaohly. What has always stood out to me is her intelligence, her belief in herself, and her sense of what is right. She did not always have a clear path because too few adults believe in kids like Kaohly and me. But she kept finding her way. And when the road gets rocky, Kaohly gets steadier. She walks into rooms not built for her because she knows that it matters. She listens, she learns, she laughs at herself and cries sometimes. And when she speaks, people lean in because she is curious, clear, and purposeful. In 2018, Kaohly shared with me that she was thinking about running for office. And I said, I could introduce you to someone who could help you think about it. We had a conversation at her kitchen table, and then she just took off. That is Kaohly. When something aligns with her values, she moves forward with confidence. I've seen this courage in quiet moments long before today. She said yes to serving on my nonprofit board, even though she had never served on a board before. She said yes to stepping into education policy, driven by her own experience as a parent whose children were mislabeled as English language learners, even though they did not speak another language besides English. She did not soften the truth. She honored it. These are just a few examples of how she steps in and steps up. Today matters not just for Kaohly, but for all of us. Her election is historic for many reasons. Her work ethic sets her apart. And many will also note that she will be the first woman mayor of St. Paul, the first woman of color, the first Asian mayor, the first immigrant mayor, the first Hmong mayor, and yes, those firsts are not just milestones, they are her teachers. They taught her how to lead across difference, how to widen the circle without asking anyone to disappear, how to collaborate without judging the identities people hold. Being a Hmong woman shaped her sense of responsibility because Hmong women have long carried their families, culture, and community forward, often without recognition or permission. That kind of leadership centers love and care. Being a woman shaped her leadership too. She listens without shrinking. She leads with strength and empathy. And being first taught her something really important, that when there are no blueprints, you build together. You do not guard doors, you open them. You make space. That is why these firsts matter. They did not just set her apart, they prepared her leadership to lead all of us. This is the American experiment at its best, making progress without forgetting your roots, and then together as neighbors, doing the hard work to make St. Paul more just, more welcoming, and more vibrant for all of us. Kaohly embodies that responsibility and that promise. Being mayor will not be easy. There will be challenges, and yes, you can call me at 10 p.m. or later. There will be moments that ask a lot of her, but she will be present. She will offer hope. She will defend her city, and she will steward what has worked and build what is needed for the future. I believe Kaohly will build foundations for generations to come by learning from the past, and she will innovate with care, courage, and responsibility. She will not forget where she comes from. She will not forget who this city belongs to, and she will serve St. Paul with humility, strength, and love. For those meeting her for the first time today, you are gaining a leader who understands that policy is personal and that government should work for the people it serves. For those who have known Kaohly since childhood, this moment feels extraordinary and reminds us of what we can become when we belong to a place. And to the young people in the audience wondering if there is a place for you in roles like this, let Kaohly's life be your answer. Kaohly, we are so proud of you. St. Paul is fortunate to now experience the leadership that I have known for so long.
Thank you so much, Bo. And now please allow me to introduce you to State Representative Ginny Cleavorn. Representative Cleavorn is the current co-chair of the State Government Finance and Policy Committee. She represents the communities of Plymouth and Medicine Lake in the northwest suburbs of Minneapolis. Representative Cleavorn and Mayor-elect Her joined the legislature together in 2019. Together, they supported issues uplifting economic opportunities for women, children, and families. Please help me welcome Representative Cleavorn.
Good afternoon. It's a great day for St. Paul. I first came to St. Paul 45 years ago. A younger woman filled with hope and excitement about what it would mean for me, my family, and our future to live in St. Paul. The St. Paul community delivered on its promises for me and my family with education and economic opportunities that enabled our family to build a better future and move forward. But today is not about nostalgia. Today is about the beginning of a new era of hope and opportunity. Today is about your trust in a new leader to move St. Paul forward. Mayor-elect Kaohly Her. I'm here today to celebrate each of you with the bright future that is before us. But I have no crystal ball for the future, but I can tell you what I know about Mayor-elect Kaohly Her. I have witnessed in our 7 years together at the legislature her tenacity, her compassion, her vision to make lives better, her desire to empower each and every person in this city to achieve their dreams, and the incredible servant leadership that is at the core, the very human fiber of Kaohly Her. It's the Her way. Our time at the legislature, our 4 terms together, well, they have been anything but ordinary. I've seen the extraordinary work of Kaohly. As one of the first elected Hmong American women, Kaohly stayed focused and effective. She built relationships and very diverse coalitions that were necessary to pass significant, life-changing legislation for her community and for our state. When I asked then Representative Kaohly Her, why are you running for mayor? What's your goal? You're doing great work at the Capitol. You can still do more. Her response, crystal clear. I'm running for my community. In our conversation, she talked about the beautiful diversity of the people of St. Paul, their voices. She talked about real human needs of individuals. She talked about concerns for the economy. And she talked about building opportunity for generations to come. Mayor-elect Her will use her tenacity, her compassion, and her leadership to the best of her ability to help each of you and all of us to live our dreams, to live in safety, to live in dignity, to have employment that provides meaning and purpose, to educate our children so that they may each reach their full potential, to build and grow our businesses, to keep our capital city vibrant, and when the time arrives, to spend our golden years in the peace of a life well lived. Oh, to live our dreams. Today, we are here together in community to celebrate the inauguration of Mayor Kaohly Her. We acknowledge and greatly appreciate the accomplishments of those public servants who came before her. Today, At this inauguration, we put our trust in Kaohly Her as she accepts her oath of office as, you've heard many times today, the first woman, the first Hmong American to accept the title and the awesome responsibility of Mayor of St. Paul, Minnesota.
Thank you so much, Representative Cleavorn. And now it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Because I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of saying Mayor-elect Kaohly Her, right? Let's just make this official. So now joining us on stage to administer the oath of office is Reverend Daniel Johnson, whom we heard from earlier, a longtime family friend. And joining Mayor-elect Her on stage as well is her husband, Kong, their children, Taylor and Aiden, and her father, Chutsu. Off stage, Mayor-elect Her's mother, Jua, and her siblings and their families also join us. The oath will be taken on their family Bible. Okay. How are you?
It's a blessing to be with you today. I'll just have a brief comment. Residents and friends of St. Paul, we are gathered in community to witness a sacred promise. An oath of office is more than a legal formality. It is a covenant between a leader and the people whom she serves. It is a vow to hold the public trust with integrity, justice, and compassion. Kaohly, you have been called by the people of the city of St. Paul to serve in this office. Are you ready to take this oath?
My left hand, my right hand up.
Left hand on the Bible, your Bible,
Okay.
and raise your right hand. It's in just a little sheet of
Oh, it's right here.
I, Kaohly Her,
I, Kaohly Her,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the constitutions
to support the constitutions
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Minnesota,
and of the state of Minnesota,
and to discharge faithfully
and to discharge faithfully
the duties devolving upon me
the duties devolving upon me
as the mayor of the city of St. Paul
as the mayor of the city of St. Paul,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Kaohly, you have made this promise before your family, your neighbors, your colleagues, and this city. May you be granted the wisdom to lead with clarity, the strength to act with courage, and the grace to serve all people of St. Paul with a humble heart. It is my deep honor to present to you the next mayor of the city of St. Paul, Kaohly Her.
Thank you.
In just a moment, we are going to be joined by some extraordinary community leaders. Debbie Montgomery, the first woman to become a St. Paul police officer and the first Black woman elected to the St. Paul City Council. Senator Mary Kunesh, the first Indigenous Minnesota State Senator. Chua Lee, the first Hmong elected in the United States when she was elected to the St. Paul School Board, and the first Hmong principal in St. Paul. Ilona Street Stewart, the first Indigenous Synod executive in the Presbyterian Church and a former St. Paul School Board member. Susan Kimberly, the first trans deputy mayor in the city of St. Paul. And Dr. Marquita Evans, the first Black woman president of St. Catherine University. And if you notice, they're leaving a little bit of space in between themselves for one other extraordinary leader who we're about to welcome back to the stage. Family, friends, dignitaries, and community members, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 56th mayor of the city of St. Paul, the Honorable Kaohly Her.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. I'm overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed. Well, it is my honor to stand here with all of you today as the 56th mayor of the great city of St. Paul. I want to specifically thank the people who helped me get here today. My family, to Kong, Aiden, and Taylor, thank you for loving me and being my rock during the long nights, the hard days, and the joyous moments. I want to thank St. Kate's for hosting us today, that when we thought about where we would be doing this swearing in, it was so important that we honored the fact that there is an all-women's institution here that has been teaching and educating women for many generations. And so thank you, St. Kate's, for hosting us here today. To my parents who carried my siblings and me on their backs to come to this country for a better life. Your strength and tenacity are the reasons I am here today. When I entered this race with just 3 months to campaign, I was told it would be impossible to win. The people who said that did not know that I was raised by parents who were relentless in their pursuit of safety, security, success, and the American dream. Despite the challenges or the impossibilities before you, such as language barriers, lack of opportunity, systemic and structural racism, poverty, you persisted and persevered. It was your lessons of Chitsa Kausi Galuju, Watlanchi la Yoju, Jaosha Ha Shiju, Oshande, Ha Yavanchu, Yakatsu Hauke. To my campaign team, I owe you a debt of gratitude. You are a dream team. In a time when politics is divisive and hostile, you represent all that is good and the possibility of what can be. Your compassion, care, empathy, and love, and your keen political analytics centered this campaign. You are the reflection of all of the best parts of who I am. I could not imagine this journey without each and every one of you. To the volunteers who knocked on thousands of doors, almost 40,000 to be exact, and the organizations and elected officials who had the political courage to speak out and support me in the earliest days of this campaign, especially when it was personally challenging. Your support means more to me than I will ever be able to express. To Mayor Melvin Carter, thank you for your many years of service to our city. You led our city through extremely challenging times. The work that you did laid the foundation for this new administration to springboard from. I started my political life working for you, and I will always be grateful for that opportunity. Thank you all for being here today. People have often reminded me of the historic nature of this election. Never in our city's history has a woman, Asian American, Hmong person, or refugee held this position. As I ran this campaign, these identities were woven into every action. But it is important for us to know that when we do big things and shatter glass ceilings, that we break them open for generations to come. Across our city, young women, my Hmong family, and refugee and immigrant communities will know that no office is too high for them to dream of or reach. I may be the first in some of these categories, but I will not be the last. The strong women standing with me here on stage broke barriers. It is because of their achievements that we keep opening new doors and shattering ceilings. No woman accomplishes something big without standing shoulder to shoulder with the women who did it before them. Thank you. I am so honored to have you here with me today. Thank you. Progress and forward momentum can only happen when we don't forget where we came from. I strive to honor my ancestors' legacy in everything that I do. They fled the only home that they knew in pursuit of safety and a better life. In a collectivist culture like the Hmong community, you never accomplish anything alone. We celebrate victories together, we grieve losses in masses, and we carry each other physically and figuratively for the entire life cycle. That is why the symbol of a baby carrier is central in the design of our campaign. The border around my logo and the pin that you all will receive today as you leave was inspired by my grandmother's baby carrier, the hlangya that she painstakingly and lovingly stitched together for each one of her grandchildren. Just as the women in our culture carried us, I want to honor and carry our city through these times. The truth is, we have so many opportunities ahead of us to take big, bold steps to move St. Paul forward. But there are also significant challenges we must face first. We have a federal administration determined to make life more difficult for all of us here. Whether it is cutting funding to our city or targeting our neighbors, we are facing an unprecedented incursion that we must meet head on. That is why I'm committed to working with the City Council to establish ordinances to rein in their power, from banning them from organizing in our public parks and spaces to implementing a ban on mask covering. One thing we know about this administration is that they won't play by the rules. But it is important we stand up for our neighbors and set those rules first. We are already breaking down communication barriers between the police and our community partners to ensure that When ICE comes here again, we are working together as a community. Let's not forget who is the aggressor here, who is the one tearing families apart, who is targeting people by the way that they look or how they sound. Working together in solidarity is the only way to weather through these next few years. I am determined not to allow this federal administration to turn us against each other. At the core of the problems facing our city is a steady eye on our financial future and security. You're already feeling the pinch from that in your property taxes or shouldering those expenses in your rent. So as a person with an investments background, here's the piece I'm sure you've all been waiting for: deferred maintenance and budget projections. These expenses are knowable and we can plan for them. Right now, our city does not have a compiled list of upcoming projects and deferred maintenance. I'm excited to change that. But based on the back of the napkin math, after meeting with all of our city departments, we likely have over $1 billion in needs, including our largest city assets, the Grand Casino Arena, River Center, and Roy Wilkins Auditorium. From our outdated fire training facilities to our libraries, we need to plan to maintain and rebuild our public assets. I am excited to build that. Those who have worked with me at the Capitol know that I will never come to you without numbers, data points, or a plan. My strongest belief is that if we ask our state partners for help, we need to come with a sustainable strategy in hand, so that we don't keep asking for money every couple of decades. I'm excited to accomplish that. Finances and getting our government back to doing the basics right may not be flashy, but it is important for every facet of our city, from renters to business owners to visitors to homeowners. My commitment to the city is that we will get back to the basics of running our government right. That means responding to every request, getting construction permits out the door, and facilitating conversations that keep and retain businesses, from downtown to Payne Avenue to Grand Avenue and everywhere people hope to chase their dreams and make our city more vibrant. I made this commitment to all of you on election night, and I hope in the 2 months since you've seen it to be true. I will always show up. We're a large city, but a small community. Being connected matters. Knowing what's going on in every corner of our city matters. It's how I can best fight for you as your mayor. As I close, I would be remiss if I didn't mention and honor the people who aren't here with us today. First, my maternal grandfather, Colonel Nyasu Yang, who fought in the Secret War and also achieved many firsts. He was the first Hmong Methodist pastor in the world and the first Hmong police chaplain in the country under Mayor George Latimer. The second is my paternal grandmother, Ntong Xiong. She may not have been the first anything, but she embodied quiet toughness, which she passed down to me, although my husband would say maybe I'm not so quiet in that toughness. She showed me that I could embrace my role as a traditional Hmong woman while pursuing my education, being independent, and achieving success. That bringing all of me, the complexities of all of my identities, into this work is an asset, not a deficit. I know that they both would have been extremely proud of this moment. Lastly, Mark and Melissa Hortman. Melissa's legacy and words wrapped themselves around my heart after her death. And it was her mentorship and example that led me to run for this office. Those of us who had the privilege of witnessing Melissa's leadership up close know she was never about the long speeches, which she would tell me to wrap it up because it's too long, or the photo ops. She was an in-the-weeds, hardworking, putting people first kind of leader. I can't see my notes now. Mark was a shining example of the support we should all need and want in good times and bad. Every step of the way, he was there giving us new ideas, taking care of us through the long nights, and being the rock who supported Melissa as she led our state. His legacy is a reminder that none of us can do this work alone, and we all need people to guide and love us behind the scenes to keep us on track and accomplish the biggest goals on behalf of those who need our help. Melissa made us better representatives by expecting us to fight for our seats and the right to represent our constituents. Civic choice matters. It is important, and that's what we gave to the city of St. Paul. Sorry about that. Hummingbirds came to symbolize and offer peace to me in times of great uncertainty or need. When we were fighting to win a trifecta, I coordinated majority whip door knocks to support Melissa's speaker door knocks in purple districts. While door knocking for Representative Christy Purcell, I saw my first hummingbird ever in my entire life. It was so close that I could touch it. Then again, when door knocking in Hermantown in the following cycle, when we prevented a Republican majority, sorry, my Republican friends, in the House. When I decided to run for mayor, I was always cautious about the feedback we were receiving. I often asked my team whether we were in an echo chamber, just hearing from those we wanted to hear from. A month and a half before the election, a hummingbird appeared near the entryway of a home I was about to knock on, and I knew it was a sign of what was to come if we worked hard enough. I know this isn't in my notes, but I've never seen hummingbirds outside of door knocking, so you all should door knock with me. As you leave here today, you will receive a little gift bag with a cookie, chocolate chip, which is my favorite, and a pin with a hummingbird on it and the outline of my grandmother's baby carrier. I hope it comes to mean the same to you: hope, strength, resiliency, and the courage to do big, bold things. Thank you so much for being here today. Now let's get to work, or in the words of Melissa Hortman, LFG.
Please remain standing, for the closing benediction by Reverend Johnson.
Tovan Shu Fong Kong Mang. May God bless us all. May God bless Mayor Her to be a blessing. In times of potential, may we be creative. In times of challenge, may we be resilient. In times of prosperity, may we be generous. In times of austerity, may we be good stewards. In times of clarity, may we be decisive. In times of uncertainty, may we be curious. In times of unity, may we be bold. In times of division, may we be harmony. Tovan Shu, Thong Kong Mong. May God bless us to be a blessing. Go in peace and joy this day.
Well, there you have it, folks. Thank you again to all of our performers, our presenters, our dignitaries, and our guests. Thank you to our incredible Mayor Her, who's going to be here to speak to folks afterwards if they would like to. Thank you to all of you for joining us today to start this brand new chapter in the history of the greatest city in the world. Thank you all.